What do you got to do with the mistakes I made? Nothing.
He's only 2. He don't deserve this. Like, we've been waiting so long for this, and we was right at the front door.
When Georgia toddler A.J. Bridges was born a month premature, he was found to have no working kidneys. Fortunately, his father, Anthony Dickerson, was found to be a perfect donor match. And though he was arrested for a probation violation 4 days before his son's scheduled transplant, he was released just in time for the procedure. But then the family was devastated when Emory University Hospital sent a letter to AJ's mother, Camellia, informing her that Dickerson completed 3 months of probation following the arrest. The operation her son desperately needs will not move forward. Little AJ's health worsening, time is not a luxury this family has. Joining me now are Anthony Dickerson and Camellia Burgess, AJ's parents. Also joining me are the family's attorneys, Mawali Davis and Harold Spence. Camellia, and let me first say to you and Anthony, thank you for being with us this morning and the attorneys. But when Reverend Benoit of Clayton County, Nash, actually never told me about this, I just couldn't believe it. You were told, Camellia, that even though your son needs these transplants, this kidney transplant, and his father sitting there, Anthony, is a perfect match because he had a probation violation, and was available to do the transplant. They were going to tell you that your son could have the transplant for 3 months until he finished whatever his obligations were legally. I mean, how did this make you feel, and how are you dealing with this in terms of combating this?
I was angry, but I don't know. I was angry because I didn't understand like what him going to jail had to do with him, I guess, saving our son's life. But I just take it one day at a time and continue to do everything that's needed for him. And hopefully sooner they'll change their mind so he can get a kidney.
Now, Anthony, you have stood up and said, look, I have to stand up and take whatever for my own actions, but what does this have to do to with my son? I'm here in Atlanta where this decision has been made. What would you like people to understand the difference between what you're trying to do for your son and the difference between trying to deal with whatever legal matters you face? What is your appeal to people in the public and the people at Emory University Hospital?
Well, I just feel like what I did in my past or what I did recently shouldn't affect my 2-year-old son when I'm trying to save his life to help him have a normal life, just like everybody else's child. And I feel like everybody should understand, like, this is my son, and to see him like that in that situation, it hurts me. So I'm trying to step up to the plate to make sure that my son can have a normal life like everybody else's child.
Attorney Davis, what are the legal grounds? I mean, I don't understand how they can even legally deny this. This young man born without his kidneys functioning, his father a perfect match. What does his father's criminal record have to do with salvaging and saving this boy's life?
Rev, we believe that it has no bearing at all. Unfortunately, the guidelines that Emory is referring to are very, very broad. This family attempted to meet with Emory and discuss this face to face, and they were actually met with Emory police. They were told no one would talk to them face to face. They're operating out of complete desperation. So we are able to make contact with them. My law partner, Harold Spence, has attempted to communicate with Emory. We don't understand this. We don't believe that this child should have to suffer in this way and that there should be any legal basis for them to deny it. Unfortunately, Emory is a private institution. They make their own rules, and we're doing our very best on behalf of this family to just try to fight for justice, try to raise awareness, try to get Emory to change their minds so that this father can make this sacrifice for his son and not be denied the opportunity to save him.
Attorney Spence, I'm sitting here watching as a chameleon, a mother's wiping away tears, and certainly Anthony has stepped up and said, "Look, I might have made mistakes, but this is my son." And I'm thinking of how do we now penalize the next generation for what happened in their father if their father is. So many fathers go off missing and never do anything. He's willing to give his kidney to his son. And because of a criminal record, Attorney Spence, he can't help give something to his son when we jump on so many fathers for not stepping up.
It is an absolutely nonsensical position, Reverend Sharpton. But I want to correct one thing that was said earlier. Emory is not delaying this transplant for a period of 3 months. Emory has said that in 3 months, they will conduct a review to determine whether the transplant should go forward. If
so that's
they
even
make a
worse.
favorable determination, then they'll have to go through a 4 or 5 month period of testing before the transplant takes place. So we're talking about a period of considerably more than 3 months, Reverend Sharpton.
Wow. Well, Camellia, how is your son doing through all of this? And obviously, this is a very, very shaky period health-wise, and we just heard from Attorney Spence it could be longer. How are you trying to, as a mother, keep him well and keep him encouraged, not knowing how long it will be, if ever you can remedy this situation that he is faced with no doing of his own? 2-year-old boy.
Well, I just keep doing his dialysis daily. That's the only thing we can do to keep him alive. But now, since he doesn't have a kidney, that's why he's not here today. He developed a little virus called peritonitis. It's a virus in your abdominal wall where it can be deadly, but we caught it in time. So just keep doing everything I can for him.
Well, we're certainly going to be praying for him, and we're going to follow up this case. Thank you to the parents, Anthony and Camellia, and to the attorneys, Davis and Spence. Up next, my final